Hey there, it's Sam. I'm here in Los Angeles, at a little hotel right near LAX. Some nice flowers here, you can see. Nice garden. And just giving a quick update about the weekend ahead. We have, all those planets have been in Gemini for the last week or so. We've had that what's called Saraswati Yoga in the sky, which is the relationship between Jupiter, Mercury, and Venus. There are a couple conditions for the Saraswati Yoga, but certainly when they join, and then also, in particular, when they're in their own signs as well, or when one planet is ruling all of them, then you have a great Maha Saraswati Yoga, which is what we have now. And Saraswati is the goddess of creativity. All about creative output, inspiration, purpose, meaning. So it's a great time for you to really express yourself creatively right now. And it brings together this aesthetic appreciation of beauty, which is Venus, and the desire to be happy, the skills to figure things out and to express what's inside of us, which is Mercury, and that means express through words, through language, through developing new skills, and then connecting those things with the highest divine potential, which is Jupiter. Those three things come together in the Saraswati Yoga. So all of that is, has been going on since June 1st, and it's going to be that way actually until June 23rd. But now, actually, the Sun has also moved there. The Sun is moving into Gemini this weekend. And, of course, the Sun invigorates everything. So the Sun moving into Gemini will then invigorate it even more, bringing that power of the Sun, which is our full enthusiasm and passion, into that realm of life as well. Now, the other thing that happens, though, when the Sun and Jupiter get really close, is Jupiter becomes what's called combust. Combustion is important, and, I haven't even really mentioned the combustion because it's kind of a subtle principle, and, unfortunately, it's another one of those things that are just kind of regulated into the good-bad category. Well, it is there, but, it's good, but then the combustion is bad. So is it good or bad? Which one is it? Of course, it doesn't work like that. Combustion actually shows a very specific thing that has to do with, a certain burning off of the impurity of that thing, of the worldly impurity of it. So, in fact, what you see when Jupiter is combust is there can be like a bit of restlessness, irritation, and aggravation around philosophies, principles, and what you might call religion. Now, again, this is something that is more in the birth chart than anything else. This is why I haven't really talked about it so much by transit, although we might feel it, and you might see some real sort of religious intolerance and things like that can be possible. Or, if not religious intolerance, then sort of questioning and probing your beliefs. And again, it's not a bad thing. It's to burn off the impurities around blind belief. Think about it like that. Because if we just believe in something and it's untested, then it's not going to really serve us as much as we would like. What happens with the combustion, and again, it's a pretty subtle concept, but often there's been some kind of uncomfortable relationship with it, maybe from our youth and childhood. Maybe someone, like for instance, if they have Jupiter combust in their natal chart, maybe when they were young, they were kind of lorded over with a heavy kind of religious dogma, but not really given a lot of opportunities or a lot of tools to kind of change and transform and make it something that's uplifting and beneficial to them. So they wound up having a kind of difficult relationship with beliefs in general. But regardless, the thing is that the combustion doesn't really affect the planet conversely in what it manifests. And in fact, it can really invigorate the planet relative to what it manifests, which means, like for instance, if Mercury is combust, it can actually really infuse the faculty of speech and writing and communication with the power of the sun. That process of purification and burning off the impurities, for instance, like in the example I just used with the Jupiter philosophies and principles, can be a great catalyst for insight and growth around that area of life. And in particular with what the planet rules as a house ruler. So this could be a great time for whatever Jupiter areas of whatever Jupiter rules in your chart as a house ruler to be infused with a lot of power. So again, that Saraswati Yoga is really strong now. It's a great time to be creating. I'd like to know what you've been creating since I talked about this in June, at the beginning of June, June 1st. What have you been creating? I've created a lot these days. I've been very creative. A lot of it has been behind the scenes, but I've been creating quite a lot. I've also been working a lot, and I've been with my teacher. I've been with my guru, which is actually a wonderful thing to do with this Saraswati Yoga, because again, some of the highest creativity happens when we're in the presence of divine masters. Creating ourselves is the highest function of this life, of this world. And so many times, even if we're not writing an article or painting a painting, when we're in the presence of a divine being, we're actually creating ourselves on a deeper level. You may have noticed in the news, by the way, also, it's very surprising to me to see the literal manifestation of Saraswati in the world now, but the Indonesian government just gave the US government a Saraswati statue, which is pretty amazing. And it's really funny. I even posted that afterwards, and some people say, oh, that's just coincidence. I mean, come on. I mean, how specific is that? When's the last time when was the last time it was in the news that a government gave our government a statue of an Indian deity, let alone that particular one? I mean, the statue could have been of any deity. Could have been of anything, really. But instead, the goddess Saraswati is letting herself be known in that way now. So, beautiful time for growth, transformation, higher wisdom, and making adjustments to those things with all those planets in Gemini. That's what Gemini is. It's being intelligent about what's happening in your life and making adjustments to those things and creating yourself on a higher level. And speaking of which, one of the things that I have created now, and which is available to you, is this web class called Astrology Beyond Good and Evil. And you're going to really like this because I break down the planets based around, gentle and benefic and, cruel and tamasic energies and really explain them beyond the simplistic good and bad that we always hear. And I explain it in a way that's not just, simplistic. It's very deep, and it shows a specific process and a specific way to understand, not just astrology that way, but understand yourself through that paradigm, because that's really why we should study astrology, because it's the study of who we are. So you want to check that out as well, and I hope you're having a great week. I'm having a great time spending with my guru Amma. I'm here in LA, and I'm going to go to New Mexico next, and I'll see you from New Mexico. I'll make an update next week, and I hope you're having a great time in June. I hope you're really taking advantage of that Saraswati Yoga and creating on a higher level, creating yourself on a higher level, expressing yourself on a higher level, and feeling how those things are related. Standing in this beautiful garden here, my kind of sanctuary, because the Amma program, there's a lot of people there, and the hotel is very crowded, but this little spot is nice. So anyway, you take care.